Welcome to Behind the Bower, where we hope to offer inspiring conversations, a fresh look at arts in our community, and provide spotlights on artists, performers, collaborative partners, and organizations. We want to celebrate the universal expression of human experience through arts, culture, and community. I'm your host today, Lauren Hood, Program Coordinator for Bower Center for the Arts, and I'm thrilled to be joined by today's guest, Paddy Daugherty. Paddy is a storyteller at heart, weaving her experiences in theater, writing, performance, and coaching into a rich tapestry of artistic expression. Through her work, she helps others unlock their creative potential, embrace vulnerability, and find their own authentic voice. We're going to dive into her journey and the power of storytelling and how art can transform both individuals and communities. Paddy, welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate it, Lauren. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so just to start off, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, music has just been a part of my life, my entire life. My parents gifted me a piano when I was 4, so it has truly always been a part of my life. My father was part of a barbershop quartet that used to practice at the house, and some of my fondest memories are of my grandfather coming over to the house on a Sunday afternoon and sitting and playing the piano, and he played with one hand so he could hold his beer and his cigar in the other. So he would let me sit on the bench and play along with him.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
No, that's awesome. So your journey as a performance and a songwriter is obviously deeply personal to you. But can you share how you first discovered your passion for music and performance?
Yeah, again, I think music has always been just a part of my not even it's just a part of my soul, but it's also an outlet for expression.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's how the songwriting started developing. Is the piano is just always where I would go, or more recently, my guitar. More recently, that's hilarious. I got a guitar when I was in high school, so 40 some years ago. But music is where I go when I need to process something or when I want to express something, and tend to be drawn more to ballads because I think the majority of my self-expression is happy, and so when I'm just happy, I'm just off doing things, and when I'm a little more reflective is when I go to the piano or the guitar to sit and work something out.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, you've described your performances as storytelling through song. How does your background in theater and storytelling influence the way you craft and perform your music?
Well, it's funny because I don't really think of having a background in theater at all. But if I think about, like, I taught for 30 years and I directed children's productions at school, and instead of just doing the production as scripted, I would let the kids choose characters and make up new characters, and then they had to write the dialogue, and then we would insert original songs and twist the plot. And I think more my work with children has defined my own personal work, because I always wanted them to be a creator rather than just a consumer of what's out there. You know, somebody invented SpongeBob, somebody invented all of these things that they're so into, and I wanted them to get that they could be a creator as well. And so it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a theater teacher that was very similar in that I was in a creative writing class with her, and then also did theater with her all through high school. And so she would kind of do things similarly where, we had these shows that we were very fixated on, like SpongeBob or things like that. But instead of wanting us to, let's just rewrite SpongeBob, like, she's like always really encouraging us to write our own unique things. And it wasn't just like a copy and paste, and there were like, don't reference pop culture kind of things. It's like, no, come up with your own, use your own creativity and create pop culture in your own way. So I think that's really beautiful. That's awesome.
So a lot of times we've written too just out of a need. I'm thinking about like a Grandparents' Day song. In 3rd and 4th grade, we were looking for some stuff, and the songs were just so juvenile and just so and it was like, well, what would you want to say? What would you, what did you do with your grandparents? Why do you love your grandparents? What do you call your grandparents? And it was a really cool, this is just one example of what happened during my teaching years. I had some foreign students in the room, and they didn't want to share grandparent names with anybody, whether they were afraid of being laughed at or didn't just cherish how special that is. But when we finally got them to say, it was like Nana and Dadi, and Teta and Sido and Abuelo, Abuela, and we ended up writing this beautiful song called "They Mean the World to Me."
Oh, yeah.
And grandparent names all around the world. And then this one boy, the tip that I knew we were going to write it was, I heard one kid go, "We just call my grandpa Harry because he says that's his name." And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like the punchline.
Yeah.
There's the whole hook to the song. And we had a great time doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that one from last year. That was such a fun song to listen to. And I think you invited some of your students that were there for their performance to come up and sing that song with you.
It was great to see
fun.
them in the audience. Yeah. I don't usually think of my students showing up at shows, but that was a nice surprise to get them up and do a couple songs with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, like songwriting can be such an intimate process. What inspires your lyrics, and do you have a specific approach when you sit down to write?
My emotions dictate my songs. The grandparent song of needing something, and needing to create it. That was one. But other times, I'm thinking now of the song that we did for Ukraine. I was watching the images when the war first started, and it was around Christmas time, and the people of Ukraine got a huge crane and hoisted up this Christmas tree in the middle of the square in Kiev, and then they went a step further. They decorated the trees with children's toys and ribbons and doves, and then they put lights on it, and they had a bicycle that they were using as a generator to keep the lights on. And that touched me so much. And I remember reading about a man saying, we didn't do it for ourselves. I didn't have the spirit in me. I didn't feel like Christmas. We did it for the children. And so the song is called Love Has Found a Way, but everybody calls it the Ukraine song. And while it's sad to know that is still going on, I'm hoping that little song finds its way to help people. Now that I'm retired from school, maybe it has a little more possibility of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. As a live performer, you create a real connection with your audience. So what's your favorite part about performing in front of people, and how do you bring your stories to life on stage?
They are the unpaid members of the band. They really are. Yeah. A lot of times I'll even give my band members, a set list. It's not a set list. It's like an idea list. Like, just be ready for these to be called up at any time. And the audience, just the way they react and where they're at when they come in dictates what we play and how we play and kind of where we go in a show. I learned a long time ago that sets have to have, you start out a little energetic, and then you can take it up and then bring it down to set up the contrast. And then, but how you leave them really depends on where they are. Sometimes we've left them just rocking out at the end and dancing out, and then other times just with a super sweet ballad, give them something to think about and meditate on till the next time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite parts of music, is there's a variety of different emotions that you can leave an audience with. make them feel, and it's universal. I think
It's a little tricky too, because this band is part of my old band, Main Street Rhythm and Blues, where we used to play Steely Dan and Aretha Franklin and Little Feat, and like we just used to rock festivals all the time. So some people still remember that. So we try to weave a little bit of that in, and then some of the originals and some ballads, and just try to balance it. I just finished arranging a version of Both Sides Now of Joni Mitchell's huge hit, and it's just different. So I'm hoping, actually, the Bauer Center will be the first place we play it.
Oh,
so
yay.
I'm excited to just let people hear the words in a different way with a new arrangement. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. Every artist has that one performance that sticks with them, whether it's because of the audience or the energy or something unexpected. Do you have a favorite live performance moment that stands out to you?
I do, and thank the Lord it's not one like where everything went wrong. Yeah, I do. Back in 2005, I think it was, I got a call from the Lynchburg Symphony. They were, Rick Peaster was the executive director at the time, and they were hosting a Pops concert with Rita Coolidge, and she was looking for a backup band. And so they were wondering if I would put together some backup singers, and could she use the band as the the back of her hits. And I was in a place where it was a little bratty, but it was like, I don't want to be a backup singer anymore. Like I've done that. I want to do my music. I really want to be pushing my music and not just doing backup, even though she's amazing and fabulous.
Yeah.
So I asked Rick, is there any way, we just released a new CD, is there any way we can debut some of our songs and sell CDs in the lobby? And he said, sure, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
And then it got into this logistics thing. He's like, okay, let's go have coffee, and now let's really think about this.
Yeah.
You want to open with some songs, but what do we do? I mean, we've got 100 seats and stands that need to be set up for the show, and there's not enough time to maneuver and do things. And then we were sitting there, and he said, Paddy, you have 100 musicians sitting behind you. Why don't you use them?
Yeah.
And magically, just one thing after another unfolded. It's just, I really do believe in my heart of hearts that when something is just meant to happen, doors just fly open that you didn't even know were there. And so one thing after another came, and before I knew it, it was like, okay, well, I don't know how to write orchestra charts. And Rick put me in touch with a man in Florida named Charlie Calillo. And Charlie writes for like John Denver and like mega stars.
Yeah.
He was just fabulous. But anyway, he liked the music. And normally what would be a $10,000 chart, he liked it so much. And I was like, I can't even think about doing songs, at $10,000 a pop. And he said, you know what? I really remind me of my work with Laura Nero. I want to do these for you. And it was around $3,500 that he did 3 songs.
It's amazing.
And what's really cool is that one of our fans knew that I couldn't even afford the $3,500. And so he bought 35 tickets and asked people to donate to me, and he would give tickets. And so he basically underwrote the whole thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was just so to be on stage with a full orchestra singing 3 of our songs, and then Rita Coolidge invited me up for the encore, so we did Amazing Grace together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was just the things in life that happen that you don't expect, like if you just leave space for them, are the things that stick with me the most.
Yeah. That's an incredible story. That's so cool. Just the open doors and in the most unexpected way, just everything one after the other, just happening and just lining up so perfectly. That's awesome. That makes me so happy.
It is, and it's actually the catapult now for me to rest in this new space.
Yeah.
Of letting the quartet go.
Mm-hmm.
In order to keep the quartet going, it's a new promo photo. It's constant rehearsals. I don't want to do the same songs over and over and over. I want to write. I want to put out some new stuff. And I don't know. I'm excited to see. I just want to stay out of the way and see see where it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your songs carry a strong emotional depth. Is there one song that holds a special meaning to you, either because of the story behind it or the way the audience has responded to it? You talked about two particular songs, and I know you told the story about the Ukraine song. If you want to elaborate on that one, or if there's even another one that even kind of touches your soul a little bit.
The Ukraine song had a magic of its own. It kind of wrote itself. It was like all I did was give voice to what I was seeing. And I was waiting for my third graders one day and just sitting in the staircase playing my guitar, waiting for them to come up to the classroom. And when they came in, they're like, "Oh, what are you playing?" I said, "Oh, a new song that I'm working on, just trying to find the chords now for the bridge." And they're like, "Will you play it for us?" I was like, "Sure." So I did, and they started singing. Oh my word. And when they did, they closed their eyes and you could just see their hearts.
Yeah.
And so luckily I was working at James River Day School in a small private school like that. You can go to the principal and say, "Can I have the bus and take the kids to the sound studio? I want to record with them."
Yeah.
And they say yes.
Yeah.
So we did. And then once we were done, we recorded at Hambone Studios here in Lynchburg. And once we were done, Robbie Heiner said, "This song, there's a friend of mine who does orchestration, and I think he would put a beautiful arrangement to it. Would you want to try it?" And I was like, "Sure." So it's on the website now. I've not had a chance to do anything with it. I don't even know what to do with it right now. Kind of old school that way. It's like I know how to do the old music and marketing, where you put your black and white glossy photo in a folder with your business card and a cassette tape and send it off and, do all that. But this new way of marketing music and getting it online, and none of my music's online right now. That's March and April just to figure that out. But I will say, if I could have only written one song ever, it would have been "Wait on the Moon." It's the title track of our second CD, and it was just about that longing that you have being away from someone that you love. And for me, it was my children in that moment, just really missing them one night and looking out at the moon and then calling them. And we were looking at the moon at the same time, and just that connection. And I think the moon does that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That would be my special one.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's amazing. As a singer-songwriter, how do you balance that raw authenticity of your music with the craft of creating something that resonates universally?
Good question. You got to keep it honest. If it's not honest, it won't work. There's a part when you're creating where you just have to create. You just create. But my rule, and I hope every student of mine, when they hear this, says, "Oh yeah, she always used to say that." The creator and the editor can never be in the same room at the same time. You can't have an idea and immediately have it squashed. It's like, and that's what the editor does. But you also can't have, little flower child creator running all over the place without any structure. So there's a time for the editor, but that creative process as long as it's honest and it's coming from a place of wanting to convey something, I say create away and then let the editor come in and give it some form.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The music industry is always evolving, especially for independent artists. How have you navigated the challenges of getting your music heard while staying true to your artistic vision? I think you just talked about that.
Yeah.
That's March and April coming up. But
it is. I've got to figure out. I don't know how to do it, but I need to find somebody who does.
Yeah.
Probably my 11-year-old grandson would probably know how to do it. I've got to figure out. I was asking my kids, when I was first doing music,
Mm-hmm.
Barnes and Noble, like we had a whole section at Barnes and Noble,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where people went to buy music.
Right.
They don't do that anymore, So I was asking my 8th graders. It was like, all right, so if you were going to go try to find my music, where would you find it? Spotify. I'd never heard of Spotify, so. And iTunes and Amazon, like all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made a list of what they told me and vowed that I would figure it out. And it's just so, the world today is so, and I don't mean to sound so incredibly old, I'm not, but it's different.
Yeah.
I remember being at Randolph-Macon and they had a computer lab, and I went in, I was daring. I was going to learn to work on the computer, and I turned it on and it beeped and it scared me so bad I turned it off and left. And so I didn't grow up with a computer. I didn't grow up with all this stuff. And it's like, as soon as you learn one platform, or you're like, oh, I need to put this on Facebook or nobody's going to know I have a show coming up. And it's like, oh, I used to send out postcards and I used to send out monthly update and emails and stuff like that. And now it's Instagram and it's, I don't even know, it's like Twitter, and it's like every time you learn one word, there's something else you need to learn. And that's just not where I want to put my time.
Yeah. No,
I would love for my music to be out there, but I need to find somebody who can do that.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally understand. It is very much, it's almost like an instant gratification. It's transformed from, I guess what my generation would call snail mail, and sending it out via just like the post office and it coming to you in a decent time, instead of just like you putting it on your phone and it is instantly there. Is the instant gratification, is the instant knowledge of what's going on. And I will give you some comfort in that actually Spotify and Apple Music make it a little bit easier to post music online. Like it's not just like anybody with a record label and like you have to have this many followers or anything. Like that is the one good part about social media and also posting on those music platforms, is that anybody can do it. And so, I would definitely, definitely encourage you in that, is that anybody can do it. And, if you learn to do it, it becomes easier and easier. But yeah, that's awesome that you're obviously growing and learning in that, in the new way. So that's awesome.
There's so much to learn.
I know. No, I get it.
If it would stay the same, it wouldn't be so bad. It's like, okay, I'll invest this much time and then I'll have my music online. But no, it'll be okay for this week.
Collaboration is such a big part of the arts. Have you had any memorable collaborations with other musicians or artists that shaped your music in a new way? You can elaborate.
Most of my collaborations really have been with kids.
Mm-hmm.
And in my classroom. I've not done a lot with other adults and other musicians. I started one song with one of my favorite songwriters, Tom Kimmel, one day, but I realized I wasn't in the place. Like he can do that. He can sit down at the dining room table and say, okay, at 9:00, we're going to start writing a song.
Mm-hmm.
And he even told me, he's like, you need a really good upbeat tune to open your shows with, and kind of da 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 da, and he's like, let's do that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, but I think I was a little starstruck, and
Yeah.
like, I really don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Now I do. Now
Mm-hmm.
I know how to write a song, so I think it would be a lot easier to collaborate with someone. But I would like to do more collaboration.
Yeah.
And I guess I do some with the band.
Mm-hmm.
I take an idea to them, and next thing I know, they're arranging things and playing things. I don't tell them what to do. They just,
Yeah.
We've been 30 years together. We almost can mind read at this
Yeah,
point.
it's like the brainwave. Yeah, I love that. So we are close to ending out here. So what is next for you? Are there any upcoming performances? Obviously, you're coming to the Bowers Center. Anything after that? Projects, new music releases that we should be looking out for?
We will be at the Bowers Center. So happy to be in that room again.
Yes.
I love the Bowers Center. It's just such an intimate, wonderful space. Can't wait to see everybody there again. That is a huge part of our shows, is like reunions. It's fun. We will be at the Music Hall in Lynchburg.
Awesome.
Through the Academy on March 14th. I'm looking forward to that. I've not been in that room yet. And then we will close out our little farewell at second stage in Amherst through AGAR, the Amherst Glebe Arts Response. After that, I'm just kind of centered on looking at projects right now. I don't really have anything set there. There's some things in the background that have been on the back burner for a long time that I want to kind of heat up a little bit. One is the possibility of doing a children's songbook. My daughter's an artist. If I had Meg illustrate some of the songs, I consider putting lyrics and then a link, a QR, something,
Yeah.
the little black and white design thing in the corner that could take you to the song. Consider that, but then I want to also consider the expense versus what I would do with it. Other projects that have been coming up that, again, I wasn't planning. This past weekend, I was at a musician's retreat, and I did that version of Both Sides Now and got invited to do a Joni Mitchell, be part of a 4-women Joni Mitchell tribute.
Oh, that's awesome.
So up in the Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach. And so, that was just yesterday. So that was kind of fun. And then the quartet got asked to help with the free clinic, after that devastating fire downtown. We'll be back at the Music Hall March 23rd for that.
Awesome.
Just the trio. My drummer's already previously engaged.
Yeah.
And then I think where I want to go, like the dream in my mind right now, is I saw Sarah Bareilles at the Kennedy Center New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Did you see that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, it was magical. So it was her with a grand piano and inviting different musical friends to sing with her and play with her. But then she had the symphony behind her.
Yeah.
And then sometimes just smaller string quartets. And I want that again. I want to do, and maybe at the Academy on the big stage, to do a show, just a really artistically well-crafted show.
Yeah.
With fabulous musicians.
Yeah.
It's what I want to do, so I'm putting it out there.
Yes, Paddy and friends. That would be so fun. Okay, so I'm going to end us out a little bit, and then Paddy is actually going to play for us on the air. But Paddy, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your journey, your music, and your passion for storytelling. It truly has been such a pleasure to hear more about your creative process and behind the heart of your songs. And for those of you listening, don't miss your chance to see Paddy live at Bowers Center for the Arts on Friday, February 28th. This special performance is part of her farewell concert series, so it's one you won't want to miss. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. and the show runs from 6 to 8. Tickets are just $20 in advance or $25 at the door, so grab yours now while you still can. All right, Paddy, take it away. And thank you, listeners, for listening to Behind the Bower. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me, Lauren. You're miles away, the sun is sinking. I've been known to sit around thinking, tossing thoughts around, to the stars, I'd write one straight to you, straight to your heart. The sun keeps drifting into the sea, and I keep wishing you were here by me. Those waves keep crashing into my memory while I sit here, wait on the moon. I wait on the moon to say goodnight and send my love to you. Knowing that you're gazing at that same light, it keeps me close to you. Misty moonlight fades from view, and I'm still sitting, still thinking of you. When the sun rolls around, we'll start anew. I'll sit here, wait on the moon. I'll sit here and wait on the moon.